morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's try that Friday, December 16th, not Wednesday. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Oh, yeah. Time to wake up, get your body moving. Last show of the season today.
Already?
Already. Hey. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thanks for joining us. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be Buddi3 Da Gawd on a Friday, December 16th, 2022.
Man.
Giddy over the fact that we're going to take a little break.
A little bit.
A little giddy.
At least off air.
Yeah, right. Thanks for joining us on this last day of season 4. We already got people in the chat. What's happening? Good morning to you, Josh Texas. Happy Friday, fam.
Hey.
What's up, man? Happy Friday. Wanda Lewis says good morning. Good morning to you as well. Pop says good morning, First Sky fam, and welcome to Bittersweet Friday. I hear you.
Tired, boss.
You tired? Man, buddy, you all right?
Man.
Start drinking some coffee. Wanda Lewis gives us a good morning. What's happening, Miss Lewis? Good, thank you. She's on both YouTube and Facebook. Appreciate that.
Welcome.
If you're on Facebook, share the show. Yeah, welcome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks for everybody over on the YouTube channel as well. Amy Huffless over there. Hey, fellas, how you doing? Amy, appreciate you coming on in. And shout out to my 630 crew. I already got word that they like the mix, so I appreciate you over there. Thank you, Beth, for always getting up and checking us out. Again, we are Friday, December 16th, which is the last day of season 4. Got a good morning, fam, from Brother Valentine. Good morning to you, man. Forgot to call you again. Sorry about that, brother. We'll get with you. Appreciate you coming on in on the YouTube channel as well. We're trying to direct everybody to the YouTube channel, but we are going to go ahead and keep the Facebook feed as well for those of you that don't want to leave Facebook, because this is really just about the conversation and about being able to reach the people who want to conversate, speak, talk, get into it. So yeah, we'll do what we need to do. I don't know about staying on Twitter though. Twitter's tripping. Elon Musk has kicked off a bunch of journalists.
Man, would we be next?
That's a good question. I enjoyed. I don't know how many of you guys went to the city council meeting a couple of days ago, but there's a doctor named Aaron that's on Twitter that gave us a play-by-play. I enjoyed reading that. It just kind of made me remember, man. Most journalists and stuff, they really like the platform. It's too bad that there's all this controversy going on with it, especially just recently in the news. He's banning certain news entities and stuff now. So we don't know what Elon's over there doing. Over there getting booed.
I thought his whole thing was freedom of speech.
Right, exactly. And then of course Dave Chappelle was up the other day and brought Elon on. And they booed him. And, now they're trying to act like Dave Chappelle's tripping for trying to defend him. Hot controversy all the time.
Definitely surrounding Dave.
Say again.
Definitely surrounding Dave.
Yeah, all the time, man. Mark Manor says, good morning from Snomaha. I saw you booing the wonderful white stuff yesterday. Yeah, no, bro. That stuff ain't wonderful.
Yeah, we don't say the word around here. It's a family show.
It's a family show. You be cussing this early in the morning, saying the S word. Brother Von Chapman says, good morning. Yes, a bittersweet day. Yeah. I feel that. Mark Manor says she's the best part of Twitter, right? Dr. Aaron, for real.
Okay.
Says, yep, I officially dumped Twitter last week. Twitter ain't about nothing these days. It is a negative, not positive in the world. Man, it's
Mm.
too bad.
Yeah.
Vicky Young gives us a good morning and some sunshine. I
Need
wish
that.
there would be some sunshine out here. It's 20
Need
degrees,
that.
bro. 20 degrees out here. It's gonna be like
Brr.
all day. Brother Muhammad in the house. What's happening? Assalamu alaikum, family. Been a while. Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
while.
Hope
Appreciate
all
you.
is well.
Yeah.
Alaikum salam.
Appreciate you coming in on YouTube as well. You know, we're trying to move everybody to YouTube. We're gonna keep Facebook. I'll keep saying it. We'll keep Facebook for those of you that don't want to leave it. But yeah, trying to direct everybody over to YouTube for the next season. Season 5 coming up in directly a month from now. January 16th is when
Yeah.
season
Yeah.
5.
4 weeks or 5 or yeah, a month, however much a month is. Yeah, it's if you believe in the concept of time around here. So again, we definitely just welcome you and thank you for waking up this morning because yeah, it's early.
It is, man, buddy. You kind of seem like you need a couple more winks, like
A
you said.
couple more, a few. I can at least a handful of wings. You know,
Yeah,
I can use that. But here we are again, going to do the thing. Last 2 hours of the season of the year, really, man. So it's
yeah.
flown by. Definitely would not miss it for anything. Not even a little more sleep. So yeah, definitely glad to be here with y'all. Welcome everybody tuned in, especially those from YouTube. Definitely appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button. What are we saying? Tickle the dilly or bang the dilly? Is that it?
Please don't tickle the dilly. It's a family show, buddy. Listen, you go ahead and drink you some Red Bull and do you a line of sugar or do something.
Not a
Get
lot of sugar.
your
Come back
stuff
with a
together.
nosebleed.
Get yourself together, man. Wake on up.
Okay.
Yeah. No, don't tickle nothing around here. Yeah, bang the dilly, hit the bell, all that good stuff. All that stuff I used to hate hearing everybody say all the time. Now I gotta say it. Like and subscribe, hit the
All of that.
bell,
All of that.
all that
Hey,
mess.
we gotta get the language together, man, because we are moving, we are growing. Shout out to Mayor Sanchez, keeping us on our toes, keeping us aware of our following, especially
Yeah,
over on YouTube. So, I mean, there is, opportunity there. So, yeah, we're looking to expand and capitalize on that. And yeah, gotta get the language, together.
gotta get it. But Ty Williams gives us a good morning and says, "I haven't set up YouTube yet. Why does the next session? When is the next? You probably asking when does the next session start? Next session is going to start January 16th, season 5. It'll be over there. And don't worry if you haven't set up your YouTube yet. We're still gonna keep it on Facebook for those of you that don't want to be uh, moving over there yet, or just love Facebook, stuck on Facebook. Somebody said they like the fact that you can heart people's comments on Facebook, and that was enough for them to stay. I was like,
Okay.
that's what's up.
Okay.
Vicky Young said y'all cutting up this morning, man.
A little
Giddy,
bit.
giddy. I'm about to do a little hibernating in the next couple weeks here
Facts.
because it's getting
Facts.
cold. It's getting cold.
It's the season, man. It's hibernation season. I think the fact that I didn't get too much sleep last night also doesn't help. A little delirious, but we here. We here.
Yeah, man, we're here. It's also an interesting news day today. First of all, we're gonna have a special guest on. JaKeen Fox is coming on through today, so we'll be talking to him. It's a weird day today, man.
It is.
Not much news in the mainstream news. It's all real weird, light stuff. A dog bit a cop. Trash is gonna be delayed.
Yeah.
And it's a direct juxtaposition to what's going on in the black community right now, which is heavy heartbreak and sad stuff happening, man. And so it's really compounded to today. I'm feeling the reason why we are committed to black media
Mm.
in our neighborhoods is because the news don't always align. Is this, you read the Omaha World Herald today, it's not reflecting what's going on in our community at all. Not even the tone and the spirit of what's happening. A lot of people are sad over the things that have been happening, and they tried to talk about it a little bit in the city council meeting. And there's, even law enforcement is trying to get people to rally on getting some of the activists to stand up and so on. A lot of violence, a lot of death, a lot of sad stuff happening. So we unfortunately gonna have to talk about it a little bit today
Yeah.
because that's what's happening here. And we appreciate everybody who is on Friends of First Sky Omaha, all the friends of First Sky, all the chat chimers that jump on the friends page and give us news and give us news in the DMs and everything all over town. Sometimes we get bombarded a little bit with a lot of news that's happening as it should be. We want to hear everything that's going on from the horse's mouth, from the people that are there, from the people that this is affecting, so that we can get on and talk about that, report a little bit of it, and talk about it too. So yeah, man, strange day today. Last day of the season. Kind of delirious a little bit about that. Just really looking forward to a little bit of a break. But leaving on such a hard time right now too. So we'll talk more about that, buddy. Don't want to get too far into it. So yeah. But yeah, appreciate you guys joining us this morning. We'll definitely talk about it, and everybody who has contributed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Rome's reviews in the chat says, "I hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave." That's an
Okay.
old player line right there. That's an old player line right there.
Right,
You know.
right. Man, Sanchez always with the quotes, quotables. But yeah, man, I definitely appreciate how you kind of structured that, I guess is the word. Like again, waving the flag of black media, so-called black media, and just having a voice for the voiceless, man. I definitely appreciate that sentiment, and hope we can express that throughout the show. Don't want to leave too somber, but we got to have the conversations. That's kind of the nature of this platform, of this show, is allowing the people in the, it's really not so much about us, but more so you in the community to have somewhere to come and kind of decompress, to talk, to make sense of the things that's happening around us, and for us all to come together. And I will say, although this is a tragic, as far as some of the passings that have happened in the community recently, that quite interestingly seem to be impacting us all in some way, shape, or form, which reminds me that, man, we really are family. Like, we really are all family in some way, shape, or form. We dig deep enough, I'm sure we all share a cousin somewhere. So these are the types of things that, although it hurts the community, can also bring the community together, if you use it right. So again, that's kind of where we are today. Again, it's bittersweet, if you will. We're definitely excited, looking forward to next year, looking forward to the momentum that we've built over the last 2 years, looking forward to what we have next, what we can do next, what's next to come, what's going to come out of the community. I mean, we still have hundreds of millions of dollars that's supposed to be poured into the community. What impact will that have? There's a lot to look forward to, but also as we end this season, so I have to look back and to celebrate and look back over. So yeah, it's kind of a bittersweet day, but we appreciate everyone for tuning in with us here on this day. As always, let your minds be free, let your voices be heard. I don't know if we have any haps. If you have anything that's on your agenda, you looking forward to yourself for the holiday season, any big plans, feel free to let us know, or anything you want the people to mobilize on or keep an eye out for while we're on a break. Definitely drop that into the chat as well. As always, again, let your mind be free, and most importantly, let your voice be heard. This is First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd here in the morning. Again, we have JaKeen Fox coming in a little later on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, around here we call him JaKeen be singing, but apparently JaKeen be shooting as well. So yeah, we'll talk about the new gun club that they have in partnership with the Beeee. So yeah, a lot of conversations as always. If there's anything that we're not discussing that you feel like we might be missing the mark on, feel free to drop that into the chat as well. But in the meantime, in between time, let's go ahead and get this thing started, get the show on the road. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you, the chat chimers, ghost listeners, first and last time listeners, everybody's here. Let's go.
Let's go. What up? What up? What up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, all of you ghost listeners, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you joining us on this last day of season 4, Follow the Money. This is December the 16th, 2022. For those of you keeping track of the days, for those of you counting days, it is what it is. And it's also a Friday, so kind of a fitting end of the week type of show going on. Definitely things to talk about here. Thank you for everybody that's joining us in the chat. Marianne Williams is on YouTube. Got to give a shout out to you. Hopefully, we'll do a little chat chimers kickback. I'd like to meet you in person and a few other folks that have been contributing heavily in Friends of First Sky Omaha.
Man,
Marianne Williams says, we'll miss the show, but I hope you both have a wonderful break. Appreciate that. Thank you very
thank
much.
you.
Michael Watts has also been in the chat in the Friends of First Sky Omaha dropping jewels. Definitely want to talk to you and meet you in person as well over the break if we can. He says, count on you for North Omaha news.
Mm,
Funny that you say that. We have plans in season 5 to expand that. We've been working with some of the folks that used to work for Noise and other organizations and other writers and other news gatherers, and we're trying to team up with those folks to get even deeper into North Omaha news, especially East Omaha news, really, but especially from a north side perspective, like we always have been. And we're trying to bring more of that hard news side to what it is that we do here on this discussion. So we have a discussion thing that we do here, and then on our new website that's going to be launched next year, we're putting a hard news section in it as well for us to be help to gather some of our own news as well as the news that we grab from our partners like Flatwater Free Press, like the Reader, and so on and so forth. Hopefully, make some better connection with the Omaha Star this next year as well. So, but also doing some of our own reporting on this channel. So, I appreciate that. If you count on us for North Omaha News, we're gonna try to double down on that next year for sure.
man.
Gwen Easter says, "Good morning from YouTube. Appreciate you. Thank you very much." Amy Huffler says, "There's a HAPS. Please follow the Dakota 38 last ride happening now." I did see that you put something in Friends of First Sky on that. We'll have to link that. We'll have to link that. So that'll be very cool. Marianne Williams says, "Love to meet you." Right on, right on. Appreciate you very much for the stuff that you contribute and do. So we'll definitely do that. And yes, I am going to try to put a little kickback together over the break at some point so that we can all kind of get together. It was a really good time at the Tiny House bar that when we did it last time.
Man.
Had a DJ. Man, we had a good time. We had a good old time. So hopefully we'll try to put something like that together too over the break. But in the meantime, between time, yeah. Oh, one more thing I wanted to put out there too. So we have some ideas about what the theme of season 5 is going to be, but I also want to put it out to the chat chimers and the ghost listeners. What do you guys think the theme of season 5 ought to be? And just to let you know how we've been doing it, season 1 was all about journalism as activism and trying to gather citizen journalists and realizing that this is a war out here on the truth and on journalism,
Man.
and we are a news gang because we got to kind of protect each other and just to get the truth out. So that was season 1. Season 2, what was season 2?
Season 1 was Ballad of the Bullet. Season 2 was Space is a Place, I
No,
believe.
no, season 2 was Battle of the Bullet. So Ballad of the Bullet, because it was around the time that we were season 1 was activism as journalism.
Yeah,
Season
yeah,
2
you're right, right.
season 2 is Battle of the Bullet. All right, buddy, I'm about to send you a case of I'm gonna send you a case of Red Bull over in a minute. Uh, Season 2 was Ballad of the Bullet because it was around the time of the election,
Mm-hmm.
and we talked a lot about getting people in seats. Season 3 was Space is the Place. We talked a lot
Right.
about where our space was, what our place was here in Omaha and in the beyond. And then season 4, this season here, which is the last day of Follow the Money, which is something that we have been talking about now for months. So season 5, and one thing that we understand about these seasons though is those are not really season titles. Those are themes that permeate through the whole show all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's always we're building on themes that we talk about here. So let's figure out what that is. Amy Huffle says, "I think it's important to tap into the youth pulse, their voice, their input. How can we do that?" Season 5 on the same page with you there for sure. We've been in talks with Brianna Full, who's been handling business. She got up and talked at the city council meeting as well as a citizen and is putting it down. So she's making big moves. She's on OPS board now. We've been talking to her about bringing her on a little bit more frequently and talking about the things that she's seeing from her perspective. So we're on that same page about bringing in some younger voices as well, seeing is going on with them and what they feel like, and what they feel like they can do to help with these things. So that's what's up. Hey y'all, there she is right there, Brianna Full in the house. So appreciate
Hey,
you very much. I love that idea, and we're definitely going to capitalize on that as much as we can and
perfect
talk to
timing,
this.
timing.
Yeah, man, good timing.
Yeah. Also, that reminds me of when we spoke to the student youth groups about the social studies standards,
Right.
in the schools, and there are a lot of student activists, they're still in, K through 12, that are making moves and trying to have their voices heard. So, I don't know as far as the stipulations or how much they are allowed to speak and things like that, but I would love to give them a platform as well.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, just putting it out there, give us some ideas. We have some pretty strong ideas about what we want to do for season five's theme. But if you have some ideas about the theme too, let us know. We'd love to hear them and consider those and implement them if they're beating our ideas. So appreciate everybody's input on that, and would love to hear about it. In the meantime, between time, let's go ahead and jump into some things we're going to talk about today, so that we can make sure that we got time for our special guest. We got JaKeen Fox coming in. JaKeen be singing is what we call him, and hopefully he'll have some things to talk to us about as well, because there is an event that's happening tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and show that right now too. They have an event happening. The Firearm Safety and Usage Seminar is happening at Culture House tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. to 12, Saturday, December 17th. So he's going to come in and talk about the gun club in congruence with the Black Agenda Alliance. As a matter of fact, Brother Kasim from Black Agenda Alliance is going to be on Channel 7 talking about it today as well. So
Man,
they're doing a media blitz right now about what's going on here, and letting people know what we got going. So can't wait to talk to him when he comes in. The man of many talents, Brother JaKeen. I'm still blown away about JaKeen be singing.
man.
JaKeen be an activist, and then JaKeen be singing. Now JaKeen be shooting.
You see what society does. Man, just want to sing. Then you had to turn him into an activist.
Man, is what it is. So yeah, we'll be looking forward to that. Stay tuned, stick around for his interview. He's always a very, very, very entertaining person to interview.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, for sure. Stephanie Smith says, "Good morning, first Sky Omaha family and friends. Appreciate you coming on the YouTubes. Yep, like and subscribe. Yeah, it is kind of cringy. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell.
Come through.
Say,
Come
say.
through. Why? What's up with that? Why is that so?
I guess I watch so many breakdowns and stuff on YouTube, and everybody got to say it, and it's just like I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you will subscribe, you will hit the bell if you find value in this and you want to come back on your own. Anybody got to keep begging you to do it the whole show? I don't know. I just got to think about saying it all
Is
the
that
time.
is that what it is? It feels like begging.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just it just irritates me. It's just something that is said so much all the time that I was like, I'll never do that. Now here I am, got to do it now. So I don't know.
Come through. I mean, we'll find it. We'll find a better way to say that.
That's right. Wordsmiths over here. That's right.
Yeah. But at any rate, we appreciate all the support we have received on our YouTube page. Definitely tell a friend to come through, subscribe, do whatever you got to do to make sure you stay on top of what we
Just
have going
just
on.
just don't tickle the dilly. Just don't.
Yeah, just don't tickle it. Just don't. Okay. Anyway, man, let's keep it moving. Again, this is First Guy Omaha, just about 30 minutes into the hour. So again, let your mind be free, let your voice be heard. Shout out to all the chat chimers jumping into the chat already. Honestly, not quite sure where to start. I mean, do we want to start with the heavy news and just
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. We should definitely. I mean, it's about the family resting in peace, bro. Like at this point, you know what I mean?
man, and the family is definitely hurting. Extended family, the community. When I say the family, and this was actually recent conversation, almost roundtable that they had, this being reported by KETV community activists, called the surge in juvenile violence a crisis. Again, Cynthia Elliott, when we talking about the young girl who was recently killed, but not just her, Lenny Rodriguez, who's 13, were also both lost due to gun violence in Omaha this year. The tragedies are part of an alarming trend. Again, the police chief Todd Schmatter says 40% of all homicides this year involved young people, either as victims or suspects, or sometimes both. There have been 29 total homicides so far in 2022. And the Empowerment Network felt it was important to host a summit before 2023 to get a handle on the data and make an urgent call to action. Chief Todd Schmatter says our juvenile recidivism is too high and too many juveniles have guns. Omaha's police chief speaks bluntly to a group of community activists. Of course, Schmatter goes on to say 25% of all homicides of 2022 have been juveniles. He also says the number of juveniles involved in violent crime has grown over the last 3 years. A new juvenile co-responder is on staff. Family liaisons are available to talk with kids and parents. And the chief is also looking at legislative ways to address the issue. He says children are getting the rehab they need in juvenile justice system, leading to recidivism. However, he also says the needs in the community to rally around Omaha's children like they have rallied around lowering gun violence in the past. He says Omaha's Empowerment Network partners with a proven track record of lowering violent crime through outreach. As far as the Empowerment Network, Willie Barney, who again organized the meeting, says we need to really zero in specifically on youth violence, youth homicides, what's being done, what needs to be done, and who all the various partners are that have resources, have opportunities for the families, for the youth, because again, that's what it comes down to is the families, what's going on in the home for these youth to commit some of these crimes. Again, this year alone, 40% of homicides either being a victim or a perpetrator is what the chief shared today. That's a very high number, according to Barney, a staggering number, he says. We don't want to see that. That's really a call, in a sense, a call of action, sense of urgency that we really need to get on top of this. So again, just the latest impact on the community from some of the youth violence was the passing of Cynthia Elliott. And then just days after her funeral, or I think the next day after her funeral, her mother passed. So definitely, rest in peace to Cynthia and Tanjanice, or as those who might know her, call her Tangy. Definitely rest in peace to those two. And also, hearts and minds goes out to Vea, her 17-year-old daughter, who again lost a mother and a sister in this situation. But anytime there's these types of situations, it's not just the victim. The family is grieving. Also the perpetrators. I mean, they lose children, and they lose family members to the system, really, to the juvenile justice system. And I definitely want to send condolences to the family, but specifically to a friend of mine, Amber, who was definitely close to the family. She expressed to me that she felt like she lost a child of her own, and just seeing the post from Brother Chrome Lewis, Sherman Wells, and Tamika Renee, they're organizing things like this. The whole community is really hurting, and we don't speak on the shootings and violence too much here on the show, because it depicts the community in a certain way that isn't necessarily the true soul of the community. But two, we don't want to drum up or double down on some of the pain without really having any solutions. So we try to avoid these conversations, but when the community is hurting and when everyone is impacted like this, we definitely have to acknowledge it.
Most def. Anybody from the chat or the ghost listeners go to that meeting that Brother Barney put together there? Brianna Full in the chat is asking, how do we measure the effectiveness of all these violence prevention programs like Omaha 360? Without, again, like, I want to remind everybody that our show is about trying to bring together Black organizations and do it through respectful conversation. We can critique each other, and we can hold each other accountable, but we want to do it with respect here. I know that a lot of people have a lot of things to say about the Empowerment Network and the work that Brother Barney and them are doing over there, and whether or not it's effective. Newspapers and articles say that they have a proven track record about reaching out. I've seen some reach out, definitely, but the fact that we have so much violence and so much stuff going on right now, I can understand why he would have a state of an emergency kind of meeting right now
Mhm.
because of what's going on. So all of those efforts that have been put out in the past is resulting in the kind of violence that we're seeing right now. Then how effective is all those efforts in the first place? Definitely need to critique it and talk about it. And I will. We talked all season long about having somebody from Empowerment Network on, and we didn't get a chance to do that. So we definitely will do that at the beginning of season 5. They're pretty inclined to come through and speak to us. They've involved us in a lot of the things that they have done. They had a call going on one time with what they called the Black media. We were a part of that.
Mhm.
Since we weren't doing any reporting at the time, we kind of naturally fell back into what we do here, which is the conversations with the public. But there's still a place for all of this, and I think everybody has the same goal that they want to see a better situation here. We might not all agree on how to get to that, but that's what discussion is for. So hopefully we can do that. Brianna Fool says, "What gaps are still there?" Good questions. Runs Review says there should be a flag football league, small skate parks, and youth frisbee golf course built. All of those have inexpensive entry points to participate and sustain. The youth is the key. I agree. Brother Muhammad earlier in the chat says, "Stop the killing," and he also says, "This is a great question. How is this being measured?" So, good question, Brianna Full. This is something that I know that we can all discuss, talk about, and figure out some levels of measurement on everything that we're talking about here. But it's a very complex situation. It's not something that just one organization can solve. And I think that everything that we ever talk about, we talk about poverty, we talk about poverty levels, we talk about housing, we talk about all these things. It all contributes to the upbringing of youth in an environment that they can thrive and not feel like they have to go down certain routes. So it's not just one organization or two or five. It's going to be each individual person, and we'll have to see. Now there's a lot of money being pumped in some organizations
Mhm.
to try to help some of these things, and maybe they are. Maybe things could be like South Side of Chicago is sometimes. It could be way worse if there wasn't these organizations helping. Not sure, because we need to find some rules of measurement here. Brother Valentine says that Brianna Full somewhat of a hard task since there are a lot of programs operating under violence prevention, but not aligned under under an entity like the Empowerment Network. Okay, so you're saying that there's other organizations that are there, not aligned under the Empowerment Network. And again, that's what I'm saying too. There's a lot of organizations, but it's not going to be just one group or even several organizations that can solve this problem all the way. I don't think.
No, no. I mean, it's a community problem. It's a community problem. And those from within the community and outside the community, we all have stake in the game, if you will. Whether it's the violence meeting our front door, and we having instances like what happened at the mall, and things can kind of spill out outside of the community, if you will. But also just when it reaches our front door, like situations like this with Tangi and Cynthia. Um, that Tangi and those are relatives of a relative, so it's definitely hitting home. Um,
Shout out to Tamika Meese and Sherman Wells, Pastor Cedric Perkins of Pilgrim Baptist Church, uh, also Pastor P. Uh,
yeah.
f- said they're allowing us to have the repast at the church, so they're providing the space. They are asking for community support. There is a fund to help with the burial.
Hmm.
Um, I'm going to put in the direct numbers here because so they left a link to the to Good Shepherd Funeral Home. I went to that link and I didn't really see so much how to direct those funds to that particular funeral. But they left some other information I'm about to drop in right now. North Omaha Community Partnership. They said you can go by contacting that number or North Omaha. Uh, s- uh, they got a couple. There's a couple of Gmails that you can also contact them and find out what's going on there too. Buddy, what's this link that you just drop
Here,
your link.
I'm gonna post a better link, but this is the link to the funeral, the Good Shepherd
Yeah,
Funeral Payment Center.
I don't know if you saw my note there. So I went to that Good Shepherd Payment Center and didn't really see where you can where you're directing the funds.
At the top, it says payment information. It says first and last name, payment for. That's where you'll put her name. That's where
Okay.
you'll put Tanjanice Manuel, and that's how those funds will be directed towards her. And then you fill the rest of the form out.
All right, cool. So there's the link to that to help them pay for the funeral there. It's really um this is the kind of thing that really hits home for me too because so unexpected. So unexpected. People that were there said that she sat by her daughter's bedside. She wasn't feeling good, feeling lightheaded. They said, why don't you go get some air? She came back in. She said she was fine, and then passed away the next morning. So it's
Yeah.
just to think about a mother and a daughter passing away like that is just it's rough, man. It takes me back to when Brother Carlos and his mom passed away within a week of each other. Just tragic,
Yep. Yep.
tragic.
That's exactly.
Brother Valentine in the chat says the city of Omaha should have a strategic plan specific to this area. Nothing who the noting who the key partners are and what their role and desired outcome is. He says uh, up above. He said, "I wonder. I would start with looking into those receiving funding from the city, and look at their utilization of funding and outcomes. Again, talking about how to hold organizations accountable. Kind of see kind of measurable outcomes. We need that." Amy Huffley says again. We have all adults having these meetings about what we can do. This is an emergency, but I don't see any youth at the table. Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. Right. Brother Muhammad says it starts in the womb, from the womb out. It is not not sport and play. It starts in the mind. Killing is just not taking physical life. Killing the child's spirit. Is there any hope? Uh, yeah, man. I totally agree. Brother Valentine says City of Omaha should have. Yeah, we talked about that already. He also said it's noted on the call that they were engaging with their step up participants on this topic. Okay. Uh,
Okay.
So, that reminds me. Whatever came of the meeting that happened at North High a few months back? There was another kind of a state of emergency meeting that all the black leaders and everybody.
Yeah. I was there. I was there. That was organized by Tamika Meese. I do believe Willie Barney was there. You had former chief Warren was there. Sherman Wells were there. Brianna Full was there. A lot of people in the community was there. Unfortunately, I didn't walk away from that meeting feeling like there was like a real community agenda or I mean, it was really kind of just and people in the community expressing what their organization does and saying,
Mm,
"Hey, we're doing this work. We're here X, Y, and Z." But no real planning, no real, hey, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. Who's going to pitch in and do that part? Who's going to do that part? How can we do this together? It really wasn't that conversation. It was just kind of, hey, this is my organization. This is what we do. And that was it. So that was cool to know, who's in the community, who the players are, and what work they're doing. But I definitely left feeling like, yeah, there's going to need to be more planning, more conversation because this wasn't it. Yeah, as Brother Melvin Muhammad saying, no agenda. There was no agenda from that conversation. But from there, I mean, there are people still doing the work. There were of those organizations, people who are collaborating. Shout out, I believe the North Omaha Community Foundation, I think it's called, with Sister Tamika Meese and Brother Sherman Wells, and some of the work that they're doing down at the Bryant Center. That's all a part of it.
man.
And that's kind of where my mind goes. Again, these are 13, 14, 15-year olds out here doing this stuff. And there's several layers to the conversation. Of course, you got the high level conversation of just pure access to guns. And, where are they getting these guns? How are they getting access to it? Of course, we have a governor now who's pushing for easier access to guns. So, what does that mean, and how can we combat that on that level? But even on the lower level, I'm thinking back when I was a youth growing up in North Omaha. How did I dodge some of the pitfalls? How did I stop from being one of these people. And quite honestly, you know, you can easily find yourself on either side, whether of the gun, you could say either side of the gun quite easily. But what did I do as a youth? I'm thinking of what happened to like Sundogs. Well, you know what is
Mm.
going on with the YMCA? What is going on with Boys and Girls Club? What other activities? What else is there for the youth to do?
And but we're also facing youth that you got to ask them what they want to do, because there's not a because there's still organizations like that, still things happening. I just joined the Y myself a couple weeks back. There's still programs going on. I'm getting emails about it all the time now. So what them kids want to do is the question too.
Well, who's asking that? That's a good question.
Yeah. I like what Brianna's putting out there, man. There needs to be some kind of measurable, we need to be able to measure success. We need to be able to see how see that clearly, what can happen there. Von Chapman says, given all the monies given to violence prevention programs, can any of these monies be used to help with tragedies such as this? That's a good question too. We coming out of pocket and I encourage everybody to help with the funeral. This is just, I mean, I feel hands are tied to do anything about anything that's going on here. The very least I can do is shell out some cash to help the family do what they got to do. So I encourage everybody to jump on that link and do that, please. If we can't get together as a family and talk about this and ask that, then we ain't doing the right kind of job here. But that's what it is. But that's true too, man. There's a lot of money going to violence prevention. Can there be some funds for people that are victims of it, for families that need it in the time of need? Can we look at supporting families more before and after things happen? I mean,
Yeah,
there's a lot to ask. Michael Watts says pretty much tone of all North Omaha meetings. I really think that a lot of North Omaha meetings are there for people to the same thing that we do here on the show, talk it out, get our feelings out about a thing. It's a powder keg. You're diffusing the powder keg when you can kind of get together and talk these things out. But like you said, we need an agenda. We need some
mm-hmm.
solutions. We need some conclusions to those talks.
Yeah,
Michael Watt says, "Have a meeting. Check a box." Mm-mm. Yep. Brianna Full says, "I'm covering. I'm covening,
convening.
convening. Convening all the elected officials in North Omaha so we can strategize around issues like violence prevention and really come up with a measurable plan."
I think that's the important part, the measurable part of it. We've
Yeah,
had these conversations about, you know, trying to measure the work we were doing at Mind and Soul and even the work that we're doing here. And you know, if it really wasn't for, you know, some of the testimonies and you know, the feedback that we get from all of you, we probably wouldn't have a real idea of, you know, the work that we're doing. I mean, we know and can sense that we're doing work, but to have to make sure from the onset that that work is measurable is definitely important.
for sure. A little bit more in the chat. Brother Muhammad says it's not about competition, it's about collective cooperation, no traditional leadership. We always go to the same name, brand, agencies expecting something different. This is a little bit about what we were talking about the other day about when we were asking about who are our black leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to make the point that we live in a time now where there are leaders laterally thinking instead of a point of contact, like how Malcolm X was or how Martin Luther King was. We don't have a leader. We have organizations and several people and several activists and people that are leading and being a big piece of the puzzle. So that shit, we need to figure that out, because that's something that we're looking at that's different. Um, Von Chapman is asking, the real question is why so much violence.
Yeah, I mean that is. I mean, you figure out the why, then you can kind of address it. And for me, I think a big part of the why is mental health. And we'll, you know, dive into the Twitch conversation here in a second. But again, just the mental health of specifically African American men, you know, quote unquote African American men. You look at a lot of these shootings. A lot of these shootings are retaliatory. A lot of these shootings are young people who are hurting because they lost a best friend. They
Man,
lost a sibling. They lost somebody who they actually did love. They lost somebody who, you know, gave them what sometimes they aren't getting at home, as far as just love, friendship, companionship, understanding, ear. You know, I mean, people are losing these things, which causes them to then just give up everything. Like they're giving up. So what is the mental health situation? What mental health resources do we have in the community, especially grieving, like grief counseling? A lot of these young people, they need grief counseling.
Something else. There's we talk about this all the time. It's not just the youth that need help; it's the family that
Yeah.
is raising that youth that needs help. Family support. I talked to some friends of mine in the community that know some of these kids that have gotten arrested for some of the things they were doing, like this group of kids that just beat this man to death with a baseball bat. That person told me their parents are the same kind of cats that grew up acting that way, that are even egging some of this stuff on sometimes. Don't let
Mm-hmm.
him talk, don't let him talk to you like that, and all that mess, in and out of jail, all that kind of stuff. So we talking about not just supporting those kids and getting them somewhere else, but the whole family needs the help, the support. The kids are 13, 14, 15 year old kids ain't doing a whole bunch of stuff on their own, regardless of how the media and how the government tries to act like they're adults. A lot of times they're mimicking stuff. They're not even just always acting on their own emotions all the time. Sometimes they don't know what to do, and then they go home and the parents say, "Well, they shot your friend. You better go shoot him back," or anything, any kind of crazy thing that puts them in the position. It's not just they're not just coming out like super predators, like Hillary Clinton used to call them in the '90s. They're children, and there's a reason why, and there's the environment around them. As just like you want a flower to grow right, you don't start messing with the flower. You mess with the soil and everything around the flower so it can grow right. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what's happening. And we got to remember that about these kids too. We got to remember that about these kids, that they're kids, and they only have access to do the things that they do because they have a system around them that allows for that. That
True.
that that system around them that allows for that is where we also need to put the help and put the dollars. With that said, we got a special guest waiting in the wings, so let's take a quick break and we'll come right back and bring in JaKeen Fox. JaKeen be singing is coming on through to First Sky Omaha. Check it out. We'll be right back. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Oh, so you try to put a little something on there because JaKeen be singing back there. I heard you.
We be singing.
We'll be right back. First Sky Omaha, baby. Don't touch nothing. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, all of you ghost listeners, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring in our special guest, a person who is a man of many talents. Always a pleasure to have him on the show. Very, very, very cool cat, my man, JaKeen Fox. JaKeen be singing. What's going on, my brother?
What's up? Can y'all see me?
I can see, yeah, you guys got a little backlight going on. You looking good. It's all
Okay,
good. We
because I
got you.
can't see myself in this. Okay, so as long as y'all good, I'm good.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. We'll see you. How you doing?
I'm good. I appreciate being on here. It's been a while. So how are y'all?
Oh man, not too bad, brother. In my introduction, I forgot to say also a person that I consider a black leader in our
Uh-oh.
community, Mr. JaKeen Fox. I appreciate all that you do, man, and it's always a pleasure to have you on. And I love that you every time you come on, you got something new and something wild and something powerful to share with us.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it has been a while, but it's good to see you. How you been all this time, by the way?
Yeah, good. Going through a lot of changes. So, I just started at Charles Drew Health Center as the development director. I started there in August. So bringing into the framing of my work, which I think is probably the best transition for any activist or organizer, because
Okay.
all of the elements that we, demonstrate, protest, talk about, and how we impact people's lives. So public health talks about all those determinants: economic health, um, finances, fiscal, body and physical, mental, emotional health. So it's those things that I felt passionate about into one box. So it's been a really amazing, and so many great people at the organization. So I'm learning a lot, and really developing myself as a advocate for this community. So it's a great position that I'm in, and I really respect the people that are there. So I've been learning a lot in that position, and then doing my own thing like I always do, consulting, really keeping that racial equity conversation alive in the state. And I've gone national for that business as well. So it's been a really exciting year for sure.
Congrats.
Thank
Wish
you.
you
I
more
appreciate
success
that.
in the upcoming year, and glad to just see you continue doing the work, and still being the light and still having a light spirit, because I know the work that we do, especially you boots on the ground, can drain you, so definitely appreciate you, and just urge you to take care of yourself in the midst of all this work that you're doing.
Yeah, it definitely can drain you. So you always have to figure out as an advocate or activist how your work evolves. You know what I mean? It's not always front lines, and especially as you grow older, you want to make sure for young people in the work that they want to do as well. So I've really been transitioning from that front lines kind of position to reconsidering what it means to be an activist at this age, what it means to really fine tune the skills that I have. I'm a writer, I'm a speaker, I'm a thoughtful, and I want to combine all those talents to the next thing and make space for and hand that baton to the next generation. So I never want to stay in a place too long. I think that's what our elders did in a not as strategic way. They kind of held on to power for a while, and we want to make sure that we're always passing that down and tapping the next person. So I got to get out of the way, So I'm always planning and resting and thinking about how to do my next thing.
Yeah, it's important that we don't have gatekeepers. It's important.
Exactly.
Like that.
Exactly.
But before you get into start talking about what you're going to talk to us about today, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Brother Kasim that's in the house.
Always.
Appreciate you, man. He's going to be on Channel 7 today talking about the same stuff that's going on. So we will definitely look out for him as well. Michael Watts got a good question. Before we jump to that, though, talking about Charles Drew again. Any violence prevention programs at Charles Drew? Anything happening over there on that kind of thing, on that front?
So I am not officially here to talk about Charles Drew. I just want to make that clear. I'm here to represent myself.
Yeah.
Charles Drew has an amazing programs that people should be looking into. Check site. We do a lot of partnerships. So again, our specific to violence prevention, but we partner with people to better understand how those things, especially in our behavioral health department. Dr. Lincoln has taken on a lot of that work, personally, professionally. So he's leading us in how violence prevent, how we help people with their behavior, mental health in that area, and making sure that people are dealing with the PTSD or dealing with the stress in a healthy and productive way. So he's a great leader in that area. If you know him, please reach out to him. If you need an appointment, make an appointment. We offer free or low cost mental health, behavioral health appointments. So that's always an option. And we're growing our telehealth so into the building. We could do it just on virtual, on Zoom, just like this. So make sure that you're reaching out to him in that department. We have a ton of Black mental health professionals that are doing great work.
I give a shout out to Charles Drew for that. We have people in the First Sky Omaha family crew that have taken advantage of those services. So yeah, shout out to Charles Drew on that one for sure. But we're not here to talk about Charles Drew today. We're here to talk about you and what you got going on. So why don't you go ahead and give the people a little introduction about what's happening right now with you?
Yeah, for
Speaking of
sure.
transition.
So I want to make sure Kazim, obviously, where he's partnered on this project. Martell Rhodes has partnered on this project, founder of the Black Omaha Gun Club. We also have Tony Cannon Jr., who is a weapons expert that has us on this project as well. We're bringing you the Black Omaha Gun Club, which is a compilation of all of our past work and what we're really looking forward to, which is redefining what it looks like to have self-defense in the Black. I started a group in 20 called the Black Community Self-Defense Initiative which wanted to really reframe how we talked about violence in the Black community and what it means to be proactive about our protection, our safety, and how we want to move in the world with a separation. And oftentimes, you can't move with a sense of liberation and freedom if you feel like you don't have the ability to protect yourself legally, and the know-how to do it in a way that is safe for the people that you're around and yourself. So we started a conversation about getting gun trainings, gun safety training, course training, tactical training, and really figuring out what it means to navigate this world in a way that Black people can claim that self-defense and feel a different kind of thought around violence. Because so often the stereotypes, the stigma we have in the Black community around violence have really made us feel like we shouldn't have guns. We shouldn't be able to use our Second Amendment rights in the same way that a ton of other communities do. So we're trying to break all those stigmas. We're trying to break all those stereotypes and have people feel a real connection and an affirmation that, yes, it's your right to protect yourself, because that's the only way we prove Black lives really matter. Because at the end of the day, we are being hunted in a number of different ways, not only by police, but by white supremacists, and by, a ton of other things that we'll talk about as we continue the conversation. But we're under attack in a lot of ways. And I want people to feel a real sense of pride in themselves that allows for an active self-defense. Yeah. So we want to change those. We want to change that narrative. We want to have people ship around their around guns and what it means to protect yourself. So we're starting an event which will be tomorrow from 10:30 to 12 p.m. at the Culture House. It's a very introductory meeting. This is the first Black Omaha Gun Club meeting that we'll have in partnership with everyone I just met. And we'll go through all of those elements. We'll introduce you to safe. We'll talk about the different styles of guns. We'll figure out what's the best gun for you. We'll talk about how to get involved in those training courses, how we step you up in your levels from beginner to expert, and we'll take you on that journey together with all of us. So we're really excited about that. Great opportunity. Now's the time. More than ever, we need to figure out how to protect ourselves in a really positive way. This event is free. It is for a Black community. We want to make sure that our allies understand that we're creating the space for ourselves, but we want you to be able to support in a real way. So engaging with the organizers to figure out how you can support maybe fiscally with resources, and be there for us in a way that we're asking you to be. So to host this first event, and we think it'll be a big one.
That's what's up, man. Definitely like to hear that there's an organized effort going on. If any, people that know me on this show know that I'm not a gun dude. Never really have been. Consider myself a pacifist. But attitudes have to be reassessed and changed. That's how I was for years. But now I'm in a place where, like you said, we're being hunted. Very, very concerned about militia groups all around us all the time. I've been really listening to what Brother Kasim especially has been saying from the BAA about it. Like Buddy just said, you can find yourself on either side of the gun sometimes. So shout out to the people that are stepping up. When I go to places and I see Brother Kasim there with his rifle, I feel very much safer in the space. Gotta admit. And
Exactly.
so yeah, so it may not be for everybody, but for those of you that are like Brother Kasim just said, that guy JaKeen Fox was a real frontline soldier and brother. Man, appreciate you. Appreciate what it takes. It's interesting to me. Keep on inching into that way of thinking because you can die either way, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can
Yeah,
not.
and I want to speak to that really. I don't think a lot of us are gun people, and I don't think we have to change that about ourselves or thought about ourselves to be able to enter into this work. So I think it's really important to think about like that's a stigma or a stereotype that if I own a gun, I am now a different kind of person. No, I'm just more do what I need to do for myself, for my family, for the people I care about. And that doesn't change, who I am. I'm still a peaceful person. You know what I mean? Like, and I want people to get that into their heads. We're talking about self-defense. Like, when Bruce Lee talks about knowing how to fight, he doesn't talk about it in a violent way. He talks about it in a prepared preparedness way, and the ability to fight allows you to feel more of a sense of calm and peace and liberation. So our preparedness allows us to be more of the people that we are as opposed. And so I think that's gotten mixed up in a lot that people give to Black people around violence, because they want us not to be able to defend ourselves in a real way, because then we're vulnerable, and the people that create the culture are vulnerable. Theft is able, you know what I mean? So we change our minds about how we're vulnerable, about what we feel like we can say. Like when you feel protected, you speak different, you walk through the world in a different way. And that's what we're promoting here, that you can feel safe, and that allows you to be more of yourself, not less.
I like that. The partnership with the BAA, how's that working? What's going on there with that? Are you guys utilizing the space that the BAA just bought the land in this? Is there going to be some gun ranges? Are we going to get Blactical 88 going on out here?
Man. Blactical 88.
We'll have to think about that. We'll definitely have to think about that. I think Kazim and the BAA have amazing land for that space, so we're really excited. Kazim has a little surprise for folks after we have that first class. So I think he's really going to be interested in utilizing that land, seeing how we can make this an opportunity for us to train well. You know, like these guys about their craft. Tony, Martel, Kazim, they have this for a while. They're not new, so they're really excited to help us increase our expertise in this area. So a lot of options. It's an amazing deal that BAA has acquired that land, and they're doing what it means to be proactive in our Black community around creating space and energy. So I'm sure we're going to use that land. I'm sure we're going to be creative in how we do that. So I'm excited about those opportunities to be in our spaces. This work really well.
Yeah, it's funny, man. I was I peeped out on the map where that land was, and then when I constantly look at places, homes, if I'm getting to the buying of the home here as soon as I can. But I'm looking around that land, like let's just let's see what's happening with the whole community around that land and everything. I really appreciate that. Jumping into the chat real quick, Ty Williams is asking, will you offer classes concealed weapons permit?
Yeah.
For concealed weapons?
So Canyon is really going to talk about that in our first class. There's a way to really step up into that. If you're proficient with guns, you can go right into that kind of class. But if you're like me, kind of starting from scratch, I've been out here shooting. Y'all saw that picture a little bit. So I've been starting my work, but I'm definitely not as proficient as I need to be. So he's going to take us from beginner to really understand gun safety, the different kinds of guns, and then we step through those classes. So you don't usually start off with concealed carry. That's kind of if you already know what you're doing, and we want to get everyone to that good place, because we're going to make this a movement. We're doing this all together. It's going to be about presence as well as practice. We're going to show up big in the way that Black people are doing this work. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to go there in big groups. We're going to do this in a way that's in us, because they always aren't able to see us or be happy for us in those spaces. So we have to make sure that we're always demonstrating that we're a community in all of these different aspects. So we're going to grow people in their skill set. So yeah, proficient. There are concealed carry classes that you can go right to that will connect you to. We're going to take you through all those levels to make sure you're in a good.
Right on. Another very important question. Michael Watts is asking, how is Omaha police responding to this? Or have they?
Question.
I don't personally talk to the police, so I'm not exactly sure how they feel about this. It's really doesn't matter. I think the police are going to feel how they feel. Other communities are going to feel how they feel, but it's really up to us to provide our own philosophy of what this means to us and have it so deep in our hearts and embedded in our thought process and spirit that we're not able to be moved by others or their thoughts. We're here to think about what they're and think about this and get them to a place where, again, they feel good about protecting themselves and their community. The Black Panthers didn't ask for do what they did. They did it because it was the right of our community. And we are kind of working out of that spirit to make sure that we have a real philosophy around what we're doing, a real perspective, and it's for us.
Yeah. Interesting that you brought Black Panthers. That's just who I was thinking about. Growing up in California, I learned about how the gun laws out there worked, and the gun laws only changed when Black Panthers came up. All of a sudden, concealed carry laws changed. Everything changed. So it's interesting. I'm in a place now, in a state now, that has a very different kind of attitude than California does about guns, and how easy it is to. They wanted to make it even easier to acquire them. They have a doggone amusement parks that have I call Tactical 88 an amusement park, because you can go there, have a pizza, shoot some guns, have some family fun time. There's such a culture here. It's gonna be interesting to see if they try to do anything lawfully about what you guys are doing. And this is to me, this is what is the power of what you're doing. Even just symbolically putting this thing together is going to be real interesting to see how Nebraska responds to that as well. And that just comes from me thinking about how they treated the Black Panthers. Very interesting stuff, and I'm anxious to see how that's going to go. So,
Yeah, I'm
Def-
excited to see that as well. But also, again, now's the time. Like, if it's easy to get it legally, let's do it legally. You know what I mean? Off the box. Let's take one conversation out of their arsenal against the Black community that we do this thing illegally. Let's erase that conversation. Let's start a new one that we understand our rights, we understand the law, we're able to practice this in a legal way, and do what we need to do for ourselves. We don't have to go the illegal route to be proficient to practice this. We have a real space that we can dedicate to this, and people that are interested in our, these brothers are really capable. And that's what we need to be. I think a lot of the issue with violence is people aren't proficient, they're not capable, and so everyone's at risk, as opposed to the person that you're actually looking to engage with. Again, we're not talking proactive violence, but if we were proficient, a lot of these conversations wouldn't be hitting people that aren't engaged in the conversation they're engaged in. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be accidental. To be better at this, because that decreases the violence that we experience. And once we have a better philosophy around protection defense, we understand that a conversation about utilizing violence looks different as well. The necessity for it looks different, because we all know we're sharpshooters. So we know that we don't have to go this way, we can do. And that opens us up to so many more possibilities, time, legally, and policy wise. Because if they're going to make it easier, that means it's easier for all of us. So let's take advantage of that and get protected.
That's a good way to look at, how Pillen is approaching, the whole gun conversation. I know Herbster, with his pact, that was one of the pacts that they had signed, as far as some senators pledging to pass certain, gun legislation to make it easier. So rather than looking at how that might impact us negatively, that I appreciate, looking at how can we take advantage of this as a community. And you mentioned, the Black Panther. We were talking about before you came on some of the gang violence and community violence and youth violence. Will there be an emphasis, or is there conversation about attracting some of these youth and some of these youngsters who are in the streets doing these things, and maybe bringing them under a more organized, more disciplined, more directed type of program?
I think that's always the hope. And again, I think with people like Kazim and the Beeee who are already doing that kind of outreach, I know Martell and Tony both cognizant of that fact and want to be able to invite folks that may be having a tough time with gang involvement or general. Sometimes it's not about gangs. Sometimes we're just, kind of embedded in a society of we take that on. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of America is guns. You know what I mean? So surprising that Black people have started to engage in that behavior, like, because it's a societal issue. And so I think they're already doing that great work with youth, and we're going to have the education for all ages. We want to make sure that everyone is starting to understand the safety around this, how to protect yourself in a real way, a different conversation around self-defense. So yes, there's going to be something for all ages, all skill levels, and we'll grow programs as we have this conversation. We're just getting started, so we haven't defined every program. As we engage with people, we're going to make it for who we're, and always be cognizant of that.
Got two questions for you. One one of them is we're the last. First of all, we're the last day of season 4, which the theme is follow the money. So I definitely want to ask how is this how are you guys funded? What are you looking for? And also the second question is how can people that want to be involved with this? Where can they go? And can they? And is it open to anybody to be involved as an instructor or a student or what's the level of entry?
Yeah, again, all levels. So we're starting from beginners to experts. We're going to have something for everyone. We're going to develop those courses as we go along. This is our very first meeting. So we're going to gauge our interest on the folks that we see, create the programming, time to really develop the people that we have in the room. And as we grow, we're going to make sure that we have something for everyone. It was conversation. We're always going to be fluid to the needs of our community. This self-funded project, as it begins, like most are in our community, we're seeding the money ourselves. We're making sure that we are just filling this gap in our community's programming throughout all of the programs that we have. So we're filling this gap first with immediate need. That's with our money. Of course, we're going to accept any help that we can from people that are serious in the Black community. So you already know that we don't take bad money. We will never take bad money. We'll take money that is meaningful and comes from a good place. So that's community funded as all. But we got it for right now. And until people are ready to see that work, again, the major fund us. We are the funders, Black people, the organizers of this event, Kazim, myself, Tony, Martell, we are putting the funds up for this. So there is no, as of yet. I hope y'all don't get too caught up. This is us, and y'all know us. So support us and support yourselves in this way. You know, a couple bucks towards understanding yourself is a good investment, and for all of us to consider.
Man, really appreciate that. Any website, any place they can go to and check out anything quite yet, or is you just wanting to show up at the meeting and and talk there?
Show it. There's not for this event specifically, except the event we have on Facebook. So check out the Black Omaha. He has his own personal page on Facebook. And then these guys are business owners, so they have their own websites as well. Go to their pages on Facebook. Tony Cannon Jr. He's going to be doing a lot of the gun safety conversation and talks about the classes they have. He has his own business in that, so he's able to presence on Facebook as well. Y'all know Kazim and the BAA. They're going to always have highlights on their programming on Facebook. And then get to know Martell Brooks, who Gun Club. He has a page on Facebook as well. And the Black Omaha Gun Club, you can just search that on Facebook and you'll to the page for the organization as well.
Right on, man. Thank you so much for joining us, brother. Like I said, you always have the powerhouse news to bring us on the movement and things that's going down. If we were jokingly today talking about how Omaha World Herald news today is just a cop got bit by a dog. The trash is going to be delayed. Sports. When we got major stories in the Black community, this is definitely one of them. So we appreciate you coming on and being a part of what we got going on here, and hope to see you back in season 5 on a regular basis with some updates on what's going on with you. So
yeah, I appreciate that. This is my go for news. So I appreciate that you guys have always committed to making this possible for our community and doing the news that we care. You know, you're a major piece of how we do this work well. So I just appreciate your time always.
Man, thank you,
bro.
Thank you.
That's reassuring to hear. I'm really glad you said that. I appreciate that very much.
Of course.
We're gonna let you get on about your day, man. 8:14 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, if you just joined us, you're listening to JaKeen Fox. We be calling him JaKeen be singing. Nowadays, JaKeen be shooting. Definitely check him out. Singing while you'll get a busted cap in your butt with a man singing a song to you on top of it, bro. I like that.
I don't know what to do.
He's mesmerizing with the voice and stand there and just get capped on. Black Omaha Gun Club, ladies and gentlemen. JaKeen Fox, thank you for your time, bro. And we'll talk again too on the Charles Drew level that we were talking about before. definitely like to partner with Charles Drew on a lot of those things. Like I say,
Man.
Charles Drew has been instrumental in some of our own internal First Sky Omaha fam, and especially the mental health programs over there have been strong. So we'll definitely come back and talk about that another time too, if you would.
Yeah, we'd love that. Thank you so much.
Right on, man. Peace.
Definitely.
Have a good one.
All
All right, there you go.
There you
Black
go.
Omaha Gun Club is going down. I like what's going on in the chat here. Gwen Easter a little earlier said, where I lost her already. She said, "I've never been a fan of guns. I lost my friends and family members to violence, which why I held 15 violence prevention and other topic safe night youth rallies since 1999. I took a break to heal." Yeah, there's gonna be
Important.
different opinions in the sphere of like we talk about all the time. For those of you that are not black, letting you know, black people are not a monolith.
Mhm.
We have some that are about it, some that aren't. Marianne Williams in the chat says, "I've been considering a gun for months now. I go back and forth weekly. I
Mm.
don't believe the concealed carry laws will protect black and brown people. I think it will make cops even more trigger happy."
Yeah. How do you think about the brother, I believe in Cleveland, that got killed by officers? He got shot in front of his wife and daughter. And he had a concealed permit.
Same with brother Castillo out in Minneapolis.
Actually, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
Minneapolis, not Cleveland.
yep. Yeah, man. That woman says, "My adult son had to work during the first meeting, but I'm hoping he gets to the next. I think it's important." Okay.
Okay.
Also, Marianne Williams. Let's see. Rums Review says, "Does he have a musical? Does he have a musical influence?" Yeah, but you got to hear JaKeen sing for real.
Yeah. And he got a couple tracks on the Freedom Summer album. So that's kind of where we were like, oh, wait, JaKeen be singing?
He's singing.
Yeah, check out the Freedom Summer album, man.
Yeah. Marianne Williams says, "We need to make sure we're not making it easy for bad guys to get guns. We also need to stop stand your ground laws from expanding. The laws all allow people to just say they're afraid to justify a shooting." I'm glad you brought that up. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking with this going on, you know, we know now that it has to be several different parts happening at the same time. One of the parts is getting the people in the seats that would not put restrictions on clubs like this, that it's not going to try to change the laws now that black folks got guns in their hand. You know,
Mhm.
we have to they're doing that job. There's and then here's us over here trying to get people in seats so that those laws can do what those laws need to do. So appreciate everybody with that's jumped into the chat. Like Pop said, brother JaKeen is the man for real. That's what's going on. Michael Watts said everybody should be doing something. North Omaha is attacked from inside and outside. You got that right.
Facts. Facts.
Yep. Marianne Williams says, "I support people learning to protect themselves, though, for sure." Appreciate that. That woman said, "Good morning. I'm glad I was able to catch at least some of JaKeen." Yeah, of course, you know, if you missed any of the show, you can always go back a little later on and check out the show in its entirety on YouTube and Facebook. And definitely do that, please. Gwen Easter is continue post to heal from my hurt I received from leaders and others who hurt my business and organizations and led me to close my second daycare due to the monopoly against black child care businesses. Lots of pain, lots of stuff going on in the black community for sure. We feel your pain this Easter. And also, you know, it's crazy because we struggle there with business and all kinds of things, and then we also got to struggle with friends and family members passing away due to violence and stuff like that. Man, tough, bro, tough. Brother Kasim said, "I love my people, my people." My people, my people. Yeah, I hear you. Yep. Lots of different men, lots of different attitudes about it, and I enjoy hearing all the different sides and perspectives.
Mhm.
I also enjoy coming to my own conclusions about things after I've considered all those. So you know, it's a working thought process and conversation. Really appreciate everybody that joined in on this one as well. So I've been trying to get him on and to talk about this major thing happening, and definitely glad he got to come on. As we talked about, Brother Kasim said he's going to be on Channel 7 KETV today. So he's going to be dropping jewels about the Black Omaha Gun Club and the Black Agenda Alliance, and our first firearm education seminar that they'll be hosting tomorrow. That's Saturday from 10:30 to 12 noon. Again, I'll put that flyer up real quick just so you can see what's going on there. This is going to be at the Culture House tomorrow from 10:30 to 12 noon. If you're so inclined, go check it out. Even just to go check it out.
Yeah.
Even if you're not thinking about being in the club or owning a gun. It's still something to stay up on and see what's going on with and talk to people about, so they can kind of gauge, what the community wants and needs about this, and you
Yeah.
can kind of see what's happening. Like I said, I've been to several shows and things that's been happening where I see the brothers out there securing the area. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Definitely feel safer. We spend a lot of time at the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation with Mind and Soul Radio, where we got people banging on the door. Who's in there talking about Trump? We got militia groups banging on the door over there while we was
Yeah.
on the air. And so then I jumped to the big rally that was over there, where I saw Brother Cassine out there with his rifle, thinking to my and the cop standing right by him, knowing that he's not doing nothing illegal, but just protecting the people. And felt good to know that big rally was being protected by the brothers from the BAA. So always give respect and shout out to them for all of that. So that's what's up.
Yeah. We definitely talk about, resource officers and how we can use our own security forces in the community. Like, it's some people might disagree about, the use of guns, but I would say this: even if you're not a gun person, it'd be nice to go to one of these events to know who to call when you need a gun.
Ooh. Or who to hire when you have an event and you need some security.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Yep, yep.
So yeah. I mean, unfortunately it's the world that we live in. So there are going to be needs for security. I go back to think of like, a lot of the early gangs and why they started. To as security forces against against police brutality. And you look at documentaries. I always talk about like Bastards of the Party, who talk about a lot of the gang members came from members of the Black Panthers, who were again getting that military training, but didn't have once they lost the leaders, talking about black leaders, they lost the discipline, they lost the organization, and kind of started doing their own thing. And that led to a lot of the gangs. So again, when I talk about engaging the youth, I believe some brother Michael Watts in the chat said that, they have guns are a tool, and that some of the youth need other tools. They know how to use guns, but they need tools like discipline. They need tools like organization. Those are the tools that they need. That I hope that they can get from a brother like Kasim and an organization like the BAA.
Yeah, I love what you're saying there. What I was kind of disagreeing with the fact they don't know how to use guns. Just because they use guns don't mean they know how to use guns.
True. A lot of bystander deaths.
Yeah, bystander, and I'm not just talking about the technical aspect of using guns. I'm talking about the reasons behind using guns and the respect for guns and so on and so forth that
True.
can be taught with organizations like what Brother Kasim and JaKeen are doing.
Right.
So they need training all the way around. I mean, especially the youth, brother. There's so much that they still need to learn. There's so much that they still need to understand, and before catch them before they start taking action on things. Anyway, we can go on and on about that. Let's take a quick break. I appreciate everybody's uh, input here on this one for sure. Like, if you go back and check the show out, definitely go back and read some of these comments, because again, dropping jewels on us about how it is that the different ones of us feel about things. Wisdom, all kinds of things. Really, really appreciate that stuff. Like Wanda Lewis right now saying de-escalation training should start with Omaha Police Department. So true. And I was just a last mention that you just said, groups like the Black Panthers came into what they do because they needed to protect themselves from the police. That was the whole reason why they put that together, because they needed self defense. It was the Black Panther Party of self defense, and they're defending themselves against the police. So,
cool.
Yeah, man. So it's sad that some things have not changed in this day and age after all this time, but here we are again. So let's take a quick break, man. Smell the coffee beans a little bit. Come back, wrap up the show with a few more things that we want to talk about today, but also we want to spend a little bit of freestyle time just to put it out there. Season 5 is coming up. This is our last day of season 4. We're going to take a break until January 16th. Love to hear from you about what you think season 5's theme should be. Definitely want to put that out there, and we haven't gotten any ideas in the chat yet. So if you guys got any, go ahead and put them in the chat. We'd love to hear that. We'll keep talking about it, and we'll be back in just a second. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All be Buddi3 Da Gawd. Buddi be singing.
Hey.
Stay tuned, y'all. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is the first Sky Omaha Radio, first Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, all of you ghost listeners, all of you first time and last time listeners, like Buddy likes to say. Really appreciate everybody that's joined in and joining in the chat. Shout out to JaKeen Fox for spending his morning with us, talking about some very important things. And shout out to all of you that are dropping these nuggets, man. Marianne Williams has read about the NRA and how it changed its philosophies when the Panthers started arming themselves.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to tell you, gun laws changed in California when that happened. When they showed up at the courthouse with them rifles, they showed up at the courthouse armed, and stuff went into motion to change the gun laws in California. So, is what it is. Brother Valentine says theme should be something around accountability of the old and promotion of the new. Like that
Okay.
idea.
Okay.
Yep. I love it. Okay, man, still going on. I'm not gonna read everybody's comment, but I really appreciate everybody jumping in. Wanda Lewis is honestly speaking, I'm disappointed. 1 week it's stated that the crime is down 70% in Northeast Omaha, and the next week we are in a crisis due to gun violence among our youth. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad you said that. I'm looking at the paper this morning. It's reminding me about why we do what we do. Omaha World Herald is not reflecting today. Did not reflect was what it is that there's absolutely heavy things going on in the black community here. And the paper was not reflecting that today. It was all sports. It was the trash is going to get delayed a day. They had a little bit of a report on what happened at the city council meeting a couple days ago. Call to action, empowerment network. But as many organizations and stuff that there is out here, it's interesting that mainstream news doesn't really have much to say.
Nah.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. Like, it's the chat that like it's you, the chat chimers in the chat, and the people at First Sky Omaha, because there's been several. I kind of lost count of the times that Paul and I are gathering news, looking through, and it's like it's slow. Man, none of this is interesting. None of this matters. None of this. So what? For a lot of this, but then again, a lot of you pull conversation, pull articles, pull things. It's the things that you point to that and a lot of times that stuff isn't in the news, or if it is in the news, it's buried. You got to really sift through the whole channel to find the real important, impactful stories. So yeah, we appreciate y'all just as much as we feel y'all appreciate us.
Man, I was at the dentist the other day, and first of all, they sent me to some fancy dentist way out west somewhere. They had a TV and two, 3 screens up there. They had the TV and the news playing, and Channel 7 had the news playing. It had a whole news piece, and I'm talking about one of them like 3-minute pieces, not a little 60-second pieces on somebody's cat that ran away, and the fact that it was chipped,
Oh,
and so they got it back, and how happy this little lady was. She got her cat back, and how she's advocating for always RFDI chipping your pets. And I was sitting there with my mouth open on the table, like, hey, I wanted to say, hey, that's great so bad. But one of the dentists, this white lady, was like, are they really doing a news article on this woman losing her cat? And the assistant started cracking up laughing. I'm like, man, even these folks understand like how ridiculous the news. Like, what are you doing? This is like, you know what I'm saying? We got this stuff going on in our neighborhoods, man. It's amazing to me though. It's amazing. The different worlds, the different
mm,
worlds. I'm glad this keeps us doing what we doing. I'm glad that they ain't paying no attention. Go on, not pay no attention then.
we got it. We got it.
Wanda Lewis says maybe the next segment should be called "Keeping It Real."
Maybe. I mean, that's what we try to do all the time around here. But maybe.
Yeah, I love it. Von Chapman says if the city relies on confusing numbers cited by some of these groups that support the real conditions in the community will never be taken seriously until it's too late.
Oh yeah.
So true. Michael Watts in the chat is saying the comment from North Omaha not consistent with different people speaking. North Omaha needs to make clear who speaks for us. Um, like I said, man, I don't know what the answer is quite all the way because we're in an era now. I'm thinking Black Lives Matter movement taught me there's gonna we're not in an era of one leader, one speaker for us anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Young folks are approaching things differently and not looking to a leader. But maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe they are looking to a leader, they're just looking to, Ja Rule or somebody. I don't know. Maybe they're looking to the wrong leader. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh,
No. No,
oh,
I think it's less of people looking to a leader to follow, more on people educating themselves. That's kind of what I'm saying. There's more platforms, more like people, not necessarily people looking for leaders. Like there are leaders in the community, like as far as thoughts and movements and things like that. But um, and I'm just getting the sense in conversations that I'm having with young people, sub 30. And it is a lot of educating themselves. What can I do for myself? What can I do to help
yeah.
myself?
I'm seeing, but it seems like to me, young folks are getting their leadership and information from the internet, from
Mm,
apps,
yeah.
social media.
But that's the thing. The leaders that they're looking towards in those apps and those platforms, they're all information based. They're all giving them information, which is why they go, because they're educating themselves. You think of Earn Your Leisure.
Yeah,
You think of, some of these gardening platforms, or a lot of the popular YouTube pages that teach about, I mean, really think about all the popular YouTube pages. They're either teaching you something, or it's like a Mr. Beast just challenges and nonsense stuff.
true.
But a large amount of it is information and people trying to educate themselves and looking to the platforms that's doing the most educating.
You know what it reminds me of right now? I came to this. I had this revelation I was probably about 35 when it hit me. Somebody said something, and I think we was just kind of out drinking some wine, having some dinner, and real loose and talking a bunch of junk, and was just like, yeah, if that ever happened to me, I'd jump off the roof and blah blah blah, and do all this or whatever, and it sounded totally like something out of a movie. And then we got into this really deep discussion about how like you really don't know everything you think you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of things you think you know that you got from some fictional piece. You don't know what you do in any kind of situation or what anybody else is going to do. You really don't know nothing, and we have this illusion of knowing because we see things played out, movies and TV and so on and so forth, and so we think we know what we're going to do, but we ain't shooting no gun out of nobody's hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, it reminds me of what's going on now because they're people on TikTok, people on Facebook, people on YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram stories, watching all this wildness, doing the same thing, thinking they know what they're gonna happen off of 30-second snippets of media. know and think they knowing something about life because of a meme and so on and so forth.
Mm.
Like when I look at that's why cats like Earn Your Leisure and all them cats stand out to me so hard. They digging in textbooks and stuff and coming out and they got careers in these things and they're coming out saying what they're saying. That's different than a TikToker that's got a 30-second video that's or a meme or a thing that's floating around that's saying all men are this or all women are that or all this mess that you see like constantly every day that you think you know answers because you're looking at this stuff all the time. And I see that. I see that happening with social media the same way I see it happen with TV. Same way we grew up watching TV, man, thinking we could shoot gun out of somebody's hand and everything. Like dodge bullets, catch bullets with your teeth, all that kind of stuff. Like, no, that's not how things go. You or you get shot, you dead, and you just instantly fall over. Like everything you think you know, you really don't. You really don't until you've lived some life and seen some life and seen
Yeah.
what really happens.
Yeah, as that saying goes, wisest man knows he knows nothing at all.
So true. What I do know is that there's this thing called time that we don't believe in the concept of. And if you did, it'd be 8:35 right now in Omaha, Nebraska. And I'm glad that you're still with us. Again, if you missed any parts of this show, please go back and watch it. Check out JaKeen Fox, his interview that just happened, went down. I love it. I love it. Karen S. Fox says, I want black people not to care what white folks think of what black folks, what blacks are doing. I believe that JaKeen Fox is a great Nebraska activist and leader, not just because y'all sharing the same name. I hope you appreciate that. I agree with you very, very, very much. That's definitely a very big spirit and air of what we do here at First Sky Omaha. We're not paying attention to what I call the master narrative. This idea that I got from one of my favorite writers, Toni Morrison. We do not subscribe to the master narrative around here. Doesn't matter what folks are thinking, what white folks think, or what the powers that be are thinking. We're gonna do what we're gonna do because this is our community. Um, I reject the premise. One of my favorite things to say. So
Man.
I appreciate what you're saying on there. Marianne Williams says Congress is trying to eliminate TikTok. Yep, I was just thinking about that because kids are educating themselves, adults too. China collecting data is not the reason. Everyone is collecting data and selling it to China. Yeah, they're trying to act like China's spying on us, but not really, accounting. Like you said, trying to eliminate TikTok because kids are educating themselves on it. Interesting. Michael Watts is asking which community person has credentials supporting their efforts. Very few. We need that piece that we were talking. That Brianna Full was talking about earlier. We need that accountability piece,
The measurability.
measurability. Rome's review says the community needs to get a hold of the 5 to 10-year-olds before they get their thoughts from the internet.
Mm.
Yeah, man. My sister don't let my her son look at too many things, man. She's definitely keeping his sphere shaped, and I can see the difference. Especially in these kind of formative years, I can see the difference. I also give a shout out to you. You guys homeschooling the kids for the same reason. That's heavy. That's what's going to keep things where they need to be. That brother I was telling you, I had that conversation with it. That he said he knew some of the parents of some of the kids that got in trouble. He was like, why isn't, we were talking about why we haven't had that experience. Why? Well, we had some shaping and some upbringing
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that mattered in the years that it mattered in.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I mean, I talk about all the summer programs and the things that I was involved in as a youth. That was supported by my mom. That was supported by my dad. That was supported by the family, and they were facilitating in me getting there, and helping me get a bus pass so I can get to the Boys and Girls Club because they couldn't necessarily take me. And there's some parents who aren't doing that. They're just kind of yeah. So yeah. That's definitely you have to address the family as a whole, not just the child.
yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, especially in Iowa, where they're trying to direct public funds in order to let people put their kids in private school. And I kind of have a thought about that, the same that correlates to the way that JaKeen's explained about the gun club. Um, I think that instead of thinking of it as a thing that we need to be fighting, we need to use it to our advantage. Why not create private schools then that we can have some of our youth go to, and especially when we talk about education, have them go to places that are educating them in the way that we need them to be educated.
Mm-hmm.
This is what white folks are doing; they're pulling their kids out and putting them in private schools for the same reason. So there might be a way to do that. It might be a way to figure out how to if that ends up happening here, use it to our advantage. Mama God in the chat says, "Buddy fam is tight on internet exposure. Great approach to rearing." I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Only a limited amount of hours, and definitely paying attention to what they watch. Like I'll tell them quickly, hey, turn that off. Turn to something else.
Yeah. See, when I was a kid, I was mad when somebody told me that, but man, I'm glad they did.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. And I think about to like when I was in around other kids my age, some of the stuff that they were watching, it was just like, man, yeah.
Yeah.
I look back to just the peek I got from looking over the shoulder. I can't imagine like,
Right. Man, my mom used to be like that too. Like, now you ain't going over there. They be watching crazy stuff.
man, yeah. Watch who your kids be around.
That's really real. 8:40, buddy. You got anything else? What else is on the agenda that we should talk about before we get to the haps and just kind of winding down?
I do have some legislature stories lined up. I don't know if that tickles anyone's fancy. If is that of interest to anyone?
You love talking about tickling today, ain't you? Tickling dillies, tickling
Oh
fancies.
man. Well, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
I don't know. I don't know, man. How you feel about it? Is it interesting? Is it something that you want to talk about?
Well, it is worth at least being aware that the conversation is happening. Big shout out to our partners over at flatwaterfreepress.org. This is actually the first story from their new journalist who we will be interviewing and bringing on when we come back at the beginning of season 5. Again, continuing our coverage and partnership with our partners over there. Their new journalist, Sarah Gensler, just released an article saying the headline reads, "The cost of low pay, the $12,000 salary is warping the Nebraska legislature." Of course, talking about the $12,000 that our state senators make every year, and the conversation of trying to increase that and trying to again make that more sustainable, especially for those who aren't billionaires and who actually might need a livable wage to continue to do the job of being a public servant. So again, definitely check out Flatwater Free Press to look into that article. Again, $12,000 a year, sometimes working 80 hours a week while in the Nebraska legislature. Definitely not enough, and you can expect real work to get done from real people if they have to have side jobs and full-time jobs while also trying to lead the state.
Right.
It's a lot. So while that conversation is happening, actually there is a union for state employees who are also calling for better wages. This being reported by the Nebraska Examiner. They're looking to lure a new generation of public servants with more money. Again, the union that represents state employees called Thursday for higher wages and improved benefits to attract a new generation of public servants. Such increases are vital if the state is to address vacancies of 15% and higher in some state jobs, according to Justin Hubley, who's executive director for the Nebraska Association of Public Employees, saying we're just seeing a lot less people choosing to become public servants. So again, we need these jobs for our state to run. Again, some of the vacancies are snowplow driver, diesel mechanic, and those who possess unemployment claims, or process unemployment claims and requests for social services. So again, these are the types of jobs and the types of people that we need to make sure our society runs smoothly. And the fact that they are also not receiving a livable wage is troubling. So definitely call for more wages, higher wages for public servants is needed because we need people in those jobs. We need those people to be taken care of and doing their job effectively. And then also when talking about finances and raising wages for elected officials, that lessens the need and that lessens the I would say enticement of lobbyists. Again, we talk about lobbyists. We talk about Jim Pillen and his possible appointment of Governor Ricketts into Ben Sass's seat. Of course, the money plays a part in that. And if you have, say, senators making more money, then they might not be as enticed by, some of the outside influences and donors and might not need to bend and twist as much as they do just to make ends meet.
Although it can be done for you to sit in that seat and have some integrity. Just look at Brother Terrell McKinney, put some respect on his name,
Hey,
and Brother Senator Justin Wayne, put some respect on his name. You can be in there and still do the job, but it's very difficult. Very difficult. Speaking of that, though, I don't know if he wanted to get into that situation with Pete Ricketts and them. I just find it really interesting that it's a really bad look for a senator who well the governor elect who is in that position because of all the money that Pete Ricketts put behind him to get into that position. He's going to turn around and appoint him in this seat. It's looking like that's what's going to happen, and even
yeah.
Republicans are saying it's a bad look.
I mean, by all means, that seat has been bought and paid for. Ricketts again donated more than $100,000 of his own money directly to Pillen's campaign. Ricketts also gave nearly $1.3 million to this year's Political Action Committee, Conservative Nebraska, which also funneled money into Pillen's campaign, again paying for a slew of attack ads against Charles Herbster. So. Yeah. By all means, this is bought and paid for, and for the grand old party to say anything but this looks bad is very telling. So obviously they're going to say this looks bad because it does look bad. I mean, if this is ever a conflict of interest, ever.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Wanaloo said that type of behavior should be against the law.
It should be.
It's not because the lawmakers have allowed it to be like this, and they don't even care anymore. It's a bad look. They don't care. Again, it's hit me. It's hit me really hard about this. He cannot be governor again. His term limit, his time is up. He's looking at this Senate seat. All of a sudden, Ben Sass gets this really great deal to leave the seat and go over here and work at this other place, even though it don't seem like nobody over there wants him.
Right.
He didn't get in, even though the students were protesting in the street about him coming, but he still got the job. Can you imagine? You go for a job and you got people protesting in the street that to not give you the job, and you still get the job.
Man, I mean, Michael Lee hitting the nail on the head. He says, when everyone knows that this is corruption, yet nothing will happen, is white privilege at its finest. Again, the grand old party called the Good Old Boy Network. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's the Good Old Boy Network.
So, yeah, bad look indeed. Man, don't know what to do. Call Herbster. I mean, call Pillen. I guess bombard him with some phone. What can you do? He's going to appoint somebody in Ben Sass's old Senate seat, and it's looking like it's going to be Pete Ricketts. He's trying to act like he's juggling. Got a couple of candidates, got a couple of ideas of who I want, but everybody's looking at everybody's saying, yeah, it's going to be Ricketts. Michael Watts says nothing more than siblings fighting, families still making sure they stay rich. Woo! Brianna Full says I have to double check this for myself, so take it with a grain of salt. But Senator Wayne supposedly took money from Ricketts and Herbster. Ooh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, let's definitely double check it, and then if that is the case, why is the question?
Yeah. Again, Ricketts is being reported, and it is no secret. Ricketts does throw his money around to support his own, agendas and political causes and candidates that he wants to support. So, I'm curious if he did. Why?
Oh man, Michael Lee just said he needs federal experience to run for president in 2024. Remember we said Ricketts is going to try to run for president? He's not quite doing that. He needs federal experience to run for president. So this is a step to the Senate floor and then to the presidency, because it's been real obvious that that's what he wants to do for a while. Interesting. Gwen Easter said, "I hope you both think about keeping your show on Facebook. I can't push a like button on the comments in there." Yeah, that's what people are saying. People are saying they miss the like buttons on comments. Yes, Gwen Easter, we are keeping it on Facebook as well. Because there's a lot of people that just don't want to leave Facebook, don't like YouTube. That's fine. We can keep it on both. This is about the conversation more than it's about the platform. So yeah, we'll definitely do that. Gwenny says senators need more money for sure. Christy Nor in the house. Good seeing. Haven't seen your name in a while. She said Ricketts' wife donated to them. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's happening with all of it. Definitely. I like this idea of holding accountable. I like for season 5. We put it out there, by the way. if you guys are just joining us, season 5's new theme. We have some ideas we want to put out there and see if you guys had ideas. Definitely drop those in the chat or drop them in the Friends of First Sky Omaha over the break, so we can kind of consider that and come back with a theme for season 5. Love to hear that. But I'm leaning towards some about accountability. I'm definitely leaning towards somebody said something about old guard, new folk, young folks.
Hmm.
Love to see some of that stuff. That's what's up. Oh, Christian said I've been here. Okay, I'm sorry.
Hey, hey.
Muhammad says that this is the way they plan their future. They play chess. Others play checkers. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yep. Wanda Lewis says getting campaign funds from developers, those receiving TIF and bidding contractors should also be outlawed. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of part of the reason why we're following the money. That's one element of it is looking at who's paying who for what. So yeah, and it takes outlets like us in Flatwater and to really first you got to know where the money is going, and then you can decide whether it's just or moral and how it's moving.
That's real. I do know that. I do. One thing I do know about Senator Wayne is that he plays the game. He plays the chess game with them. I love when they came on and they explained some of that. He was like, "Yeah, sometimes we'll go with a vote on something so that we can make sure that they got our back on this other thing that's more important." He goes, "If it's something that doesn't really have anything to do with our neighborhoods, I'll go ahead and give it to them sometimes so that they can come back and back me on something big like 34 million dollars coming into the black community. There's all kinds of stuff that he's definitely savvy when it comes to that. When it comes to that part of the game. So yeah, I do, but it is the thing. Is we still gonna follow the money, even though that's not gonna be the new theme. We add themes to our themes, so we'll
Yeah.
definitely be following the money in season 5 as well. Yep. It is 8:51 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, probably could you want a lightning round? Is there anything else that you want to talk about, or you want to jump into?
No, I don't really have too many other stories on the lightning round. I mean, I do have Elon Musk has banned CNN, New York Times, and Washington Post from Twitter without explanation. Musk falsely claimed that the journalists have violated his new doxing policy by sharing his live location, amounting to what he described as assassination coordinates. CNN's Donnie O'Sullivan did not share the billionaire's live location, according to CNN Business. So, yeah, there's some funny things going on with Twitter. Apparently, Elon, supports freedom of speech until it, deals with him. So yeah. There's that Twitter still as show, if you will. Also, the Reader reported again. We've been talking about the city council meeting, but the community board or the county board, excuse me, also had one of their meetings recently, and a monthly update to the Douglas County Board of Commissioners. Douglas County Corrections Director Mike Myers said the department's overtime costs are still high. So again, overtime as far as corrections workers in Douglas County, they're working too much overtime, still again dealing with understaffing across the state, really. Also, coming out of that meeting, mental health initiatives should help individuals facing homelessness, according to Myers, because of high co-occurrence of mental health illness and homelessness. Myers says about 90% of jail population was homeless or near homeless. He said those inmates tend to come in because of nuisance crimes and don't stay in the jail very long. The tight turnaround makes it difficult for the corrections department stabilization services, again, sort of speaking to why some of those overtime numbers are too high. But also coming out of that, apparently there's a new program launched in corrections for a new program to provide tablets to inmates, which is kind of interesting. Myers says inmates could use the tablets to access entertainment and educational opportunities and communicate with staff as well as family and friends. So, yeah, there's that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there will be education, including for inmates on the wait list to enroll in GED classes. So they'll use it for that.
You need to put some Ableton Live on that mug, and then between that and Commons jail studio he's building, we'll get some hot fire out of the jail.
Man.
Interesting stuff. definitely.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it for the lightning
Yeah.
round.
Okay. Cool. Uh, I guess we can jump into a little bit of
What's the house?
Hey,
What's happening? What's going down?
you don't even have time to play that jam sometimes. I forget all about it.
man.
Yeah, the only thing that there's not really much happening because we're, like I said, what the haps is that we're wrapping up season 4. This is our last show of season 4 happening right now. We won't be back until January the 16th, and we'll be back with season 5. We have some ideas about the theme for season 5, but we're putting it out there to the chat chimers and the friends of First Sky Omaha. Give us some ideas about what season 5 theme ought to be. If you remember, season 4's theme was follow the money. So we kind of make sure that we apply that on a lot of the stuff that we do. And that's really what all that's going on at this point. So we also definitely want to give a shout out to JaKeen Fox for coming on and talking about what's happening tomorrow at the Culture House at 10:30 from 10:30 to 12. If for those of you that haven't been to the Culture House yet, that's 3014 North 24th Street. Firearm safety and usage seminar is going on by the Black Agenda Alliance, by the Black Omaha Gun Club, and so definitely go check that out. Even if you're not inclined to purchase a gun or to be a gun user or gun owner, it's interesting to see what is happening here with Black organizations that are doing such things. We can't escape the fact that there's guns all around us. We can't escape the random violence that happens in places all over. There's news every day of places getting shot up, schools getting shot up. It's a year anniversary from Uvalde today.
Man.
Um, and yeah, man, and it's the 10-year anniversary of not Columbine. What's the other elementary school that got hit 10 years ago? Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook. Parents got on saying, our kids were 5, 6, 7. They would have been graduating and going to college right now. Here we are 10 years later.
Man.
We're 10 years older, but our kids stay 7, stay 6. And I got reminded that 20 kids got killed at Sandy Hook. So, yes, guns all around us. What to do about them? Always a question. Some people believe get all you can right now. Got to do it. Uh, Brother Valentine says, I imagine the wellness that come about for those to have an avenue to express themselves and tell their story. We definitely gravitate to that. We want to keep this thing going in order to do that. Tell stories, especially young folks. Love that idea of involving young folks in season 5. Definitely let us know about that as well. I will. Oh, here's one. I want to say. I'm gonna do the picture of the season. This is the picture of the season for me right here.
Nah.
Kimra Snipes, what's good in the hood? We really appreciate her joining us this season. And I love this look on her face like, what is this man talking about? And Manny's up there. Manny About Town's up there. I don't know what he's talking about.
Man.
This dude. She gave us the whole backstory on this, but really, whoever captured this, that's like picture of the season for me right there. Hilarious. Something else we've been talking about as well, man. Send Ernest home. We still are on
Still.
this. Still boots to the ground, as they say. And even more so, activists that were trying to get Ernest home actually got arrested very recently too, and now we're trying to get him home too. We'll definitely come back and talk more about that. Actually, we'll put some information up on Friends of First Sky Omaha on this whole situation as well. More to talk about there for sure. So this is definitely something that we want to continue to keep in mind, that there are situations going on that still need people to rally and fight for. It's unfortunate that there's innocent people in jail. And that's just something that's always going to happen with us. Always, it's messed up. Wanda Lewis is reminding me about another piece of news that I put on the notes and didn't really bring up. But too many people are dying in incarceration. Would like to learn the cause of each death. Even after they had the grand jury meetings where they took about an hour to dismiss 6 or 7 cases, two more people died after that in jail. So
Yep.
yeah, good thing to say. Mama God says, I say it all the time, but gonna say it again. Love you, young men, for your strength and conviction and to advocate for our community. Keep up the good work. Great 4th season, and looking forward to number 5. Appreciate that, Mama God.
Man. Thanks, my dukes.
Man, that feels like why I do it. It's for a comment from Mama God like that. I appreciate y'all.
For sure.
Youngest was 20 years old. Man. Brianna Full gives us a Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays. Have a great break. Everyone take some time for yourselves and your families.
Please,
Yeah,
please
we're
do.
all about that, living alive with one another. Take some time with the family. Pop says, guys, you've done a tremendous job. Looking forward to season 5. See you on January 16th. Love from Las Vegas to you and my first Sky fan. Appreciate you, Pops.
Thank
Well,
you.
yeah, I'm going to be out there on the break, see what's happening with you. We'll hang out and chop it up a little bit. That woman says the young activist arrested in Lincoln a couple weeks ago is being released to his wife or just got released. Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that news there. Good, good, good. Like I said, we'll bring some more information on that. I want to get some names right, some dates straight, some all the stories straight before we present it. But we'll talk about it on Friends of First Sky Omaha for sure. Brother Valentine says, enjoy the break. Well deserved. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you very, very much. Uh yeah, keep on the lookout for things that's happening for any of the haps. We'll definitely be dropping them in Friends of First Sky Omaha. We're gonna keep that. Don't forget to check out our sister Whitney Richardson's show, Political Evolution.
Hey,
Yeah, man, recorded over there at the Weberized studio. So shout out to Star Trek Rich and Margie. Appreciate that team over there as well. Most Def holding it down still. Stuart Chittenden's show is still going on lives. You see us promote that on our channel from time to time. He's somebody who's been with us since the Mind and Soul days. Still got our back. Still got his back. Check out his show Sunday at 9 o'clock on KIOS. Lives by Stuart Chittenden. Very good show. Very good interviews for sure. Really appreciate that. Here's another picture from the season that I love too. The first day Kimmer was supposed to be on our show, she over there hanging with the dog. But it's funny when I'm looking at this picture, I keep looking at it because I'm realizing some of the cast that we talked about this season is on there. So now I know who Del Gines is. He's in this photo too. I'm not sure who this other brother is, but now I'm intrigued. I'm like, let me find out who everybody is in this photo and what they was talking about that day. And I really appreciate everybody that allowed us to come back and talk about certain photos that we had up on Friends of First Sky Omaha that people made comments on, and I kind of definitely put out there I would like us to be more respectful of other Black organizations and brothers in the city. We can be critical without being rude and stay respectful. I have talked to William King. He was like, "No, y'all were fine. I know who was saying what." He goes,
man.
he's like, "I know that you guys ain't gonna let a bunch of disrespect happen to our elders." He was talking about Brother Johnny Rogers. Haven't talked to Brother Johnny Rogers yet, but I did talk to Bill King. He's always an open cat, man. He's willing to sit. We can bring him on and sit at the table and talk to him about some of these things that we are
Man.
concerned about sometimes. So respect to William King, 95.7 The Boss as well. And everybody else who we might have, if we got a problem with you, we still give you we'll still respect you. If we think you're not doing enough, let's have a conversation. Or sometimes it's just a matter of us deciding that we have different ways about going about the same mission. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. He got his
Mm,
style, we got our style. It's all good.
yeah. And
Everybody.
nothing wrong with agreeing to disagree, you know.
There you go.
It's just respect at the end of the day. And as I always say, conversation rules the nation.
Most def. So thank you very much for hanging with us this season. Like I said, we'll be back January 15th. You can check out old episodes on Facebook or YouTube. They'll be there for you. If you're on YouTube, you got to hit the live button on our page in order to see all of the older shows. Go check those out and review them, man. Check out some of the interviews, and it's always good to review what we were thinking, what we were saying, see the progress and all that good stuff. So appreciate that very much. That woman says that's Miss Erica Felt. She says, I look forward to the next season. May everyone have a beautiful holiday season and a new year full of health, physically, mentally, and financially. Drink water, document your money, be good to yourselves. That's right. Get your water on and figure out which water you're going to have to try to drink because the water ain't doing too good coming out the tap right now. So get you some
Man.
purified, get you some third eye. Wanda Lewis says, everyone stay safe. Love you all. See you next year. Christy North says, happy holidays. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate everybody who's doing that. Gwen Easter said, great show. Take care and enjoy your break. Thank you, Miss Easter. Appreciate your comments this season as well. I think it's the first season where you really chimed up with us. So really appreciate you as well. Appreciate everybody, man. Can't do this without y'all for sure. Buddy, you got some words for the people?
Man, well, of course, big shout out to brother JaKeen Fox. JaKeen be singing, JaKeen be shooting. We definitely appreciate you for coming through and speaking with us this morning. Definitely staying on touch with our brother, doing a lot of good work in the community. So yeah, definitely shout out him. Also, the BAA brother Kasim dropping through. Appreciate you. Best luck on the news a little later on TV. So yeah. Big shout out to them doing the good work, and shout out to all of you as always, the chat chimers, the ghost listeners, even the first and last time listeners. We appreciate you. We love you all the same. Please take care of yourselves, especially as the temperatures drop. People, a lot of people alone during the holidays. Seasonal depression is a thing. Please check on your loved ones, check on your elders, check on your beasts of the field, and make sure we see you on the other side in one piece and in good spirits. Again, we'll be back for season 5, January 16th. So look out for that. But in the meantime, in between time, definitely feel free to hit us up. Friends of First Sky Omaha will still be active. So if there's anything happening, feel free to drop that. If you would like to have some conversations about some things in the community still, again, we developed this platform for you to do that. So check us out on Friends of First Sky Omaha. And also, if there's any changes, any updates that you would like to see from us coming into season 5, feel free to hit us up and let us know about that as well. But in the meantime, in between time, this concludes season 4, man. Year 2. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. Looking forward to the future. But with that, Paul B, take it away.
Man, just want to give a shout out to Mayor Sanchez that's always with us, even if he's on the road. Appreciate you, man, and all your great ideas. Let's definitely get our backyard boogie on this break at some point. Most def, man. I can't wait to connect with you and do some things. Be looking for that in Friends of First Sky Omaha. I'm definitely going to try to put some kind of thing together to where we can all get together, some kind of kickback for the chat chimers so we can all meet and all that stuff. Really appreciate everybody who was jumping on and sticking with that. Everybody that came to the last kickback, man, we had a good time meeting each other and all that. So most def will do it again over the break. So stay tuned for some of that news. And then again, if you have any ideas about what next season should be, please drop them in Friends of First Sky Omaha. We would love to hear about what your ideas for themes for next season ought to be as well. And then we'll get to hard at work on making some of those things happen. So with that said, I'm going to get out of here because we're very late today. Thank you for joining us. I want to give thanks to the Umaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. I want to give a shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before them. And shout out to you, the chat chimers, for allowing us to speak with you on all the subjects and things that are relevant to us in our neighborhoods, even on a slow news day when in regards to the mainstream media and the rest of the state. So thank you. Please, I'm encouraging everybody to help the family out. We put the link in the chat. The tragic death that has just happened. Families have put some links out. We also put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha, and be able to help them out with the funeral. That would be really great. Really appreciate everybody that has helped out so far on that, man. Shout out to Pastor P. Shout out to Brother Shelton, Brother Wells, everybody that's trying to take care of the family at this really sad time. So if we can reach out and put some money in, please do that and help that family out. And we'll keep up with that too on Friends of First Sky Omaha as well. So let's be safe, man. Let's take care of each other. Let's take care of everybody and do what we can do. And like I said, we'll check in with you, but we'll see you back live on Facebook and YouTube, season 5, January 15th. 16th. We'll be back. Yep. In the meantime, between time, take care. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the Red